Okay, we're here at Freedom Sharvin, and we're with Bob from the ARRL. Bob, great to see you as always.
Nice to see you, Colin. This is great to be here. What a great show.
Exactly. It's always amazing, and this is one of the busiest stands at Freedom Sharvin. There's always people here, so we're really happy we caught Bob very briefly. It's a great opportunity to talk about, obviously, some of the things that go in the hobby. Our theme this year is about remote working. So we were just telling about the ARRL and what they're doing about remote working in the hobby.
Sure. So a lot of people know ARRL for its product reviews that we do in QST magazine. And we recently introduced in the last couple of years, a station called the ARRL Radio Laboratory. And a lot of it is operating under remote now so that we can see how some of the latest equipment in the amateur radio community is interacting with a station already under full remote and computer control. So when you add a new device to your own station, you want to know, is it going to play nice with my already existing auto-controlled station, remote-controlled station? We were also at Visalia at the International DX Convention in Visalia this year, recording out a track of forums that had entirely to do with the future of DXpeditions and how remote operating is changing some of that field as well. And you can find those videos on the ARRL HQ YouTube channel.
Okay, and that's the important bit, the HQ channel,
That's
right. HQ channel. So that's fantastic. And then the system you were saying as well about checking your rigs to make sure they're compatible. Is that something you go to the ARRL's website to check, or is there a special?
Yeah, if you follow our product reviews regularly, as new HF equipment, as new accessories are introduced and we review those, you'll start to see that we're building out more content about how this device, how this transceiver operates in an already existing radio controlled environment, remote controlled environment.
Okay. And is that a member service, or is that non-members can also utilize as well?
Yeah, I would say that the majority of our product review is for the benefit of our members, but you'll find sometimes content on our YouTube channel too for the benefit of the wider amateur radio community.
And that's also probably another thing to talk about as well, because you guys always attend international events, etc. For the non-American amateur that's coming to an event like Friedrich Sharvin or to UK Hamfest, etc., these benefits of becoming an ARRL member, I mean, they obviously open up these types of services as well, and Logbook of the World obviously being another one, which is coming back to us after an upgrade in a few days after Friedrich Sharvin. So obviously it's an opportunity to become a member of the ARRL to utilize those services.
That's right. I mean, we're well known for the content aggregation that we're involved in. So the magazines that ARRL produces for its members, members these days get 4 digital publications: QST, which is our membership journal; QEX, our technical journal; National Contest Journal for our radio sport friends; and On the Air magazine, which is more of a beginner intermediate magazine that introduces newcomers to the breadth and variety of amateur radio activities.
And those digital magazines, are they delivered via an app, or is it a web viewer? How's that now working?
Yeah, we use a digital magazine platform that's accessible by app in the Apple iTunes or Google Play Store, or through a browser. So all you have to do is join the ARRL and you get access to all 4 of those magazines. But you're also supporting our radio sport programs like ARRL Awards, DXCC, Worked All States. Any member that becomes a member of the organization. And overseas, we have about 8,000 members overseas. So sometimes that's bigger than a lot of the national societies in Europe.
Yeah.
But we're really proud to be able to give back to the amateur radio community. The more people who join ARRL, the more fun amateur radio becomes, because we can do more.
Exactly. Now I'm going to put you on the spot. For an international member, how much is it to become a member?
That's right. Well, it's $59 a year for all 4 digital publications as well. But you're a full member of the ARRL. You can even email our laboratory if you have questions. And if you want a printed magazine, the membership journal QST, that's $95 a year. So you have a choice for $59 digital or $95 with the printed magazine.
Cool. Now I'm looking for Chris, who's off camera at the moment, because he'll know the commercial on this, because he goes to the States more than I do. And I'm thinking about $60 is probably about £50 sterling and probably about 52, 53 euros. I think off the top of my head, he's not nodding, so I might have messed the commercial up. But
I think it's a good deal.
It sounds good. It sounds good.
But at the end of the day, we want radio amateurs around the world to first join their own national membership society. So join the society in your own country and support the work of your radio clubs. And then if you've got a little something after that and you want to give back to an organization that's supporting the full breadth of amateur radio, ARRL is a good one to have in your pocket as well.
So, we're getting advice here. It's not happening.
Getting the
As live we go. Now, here you go. If like me, you've been told by your doctor to cut back on coffee, right?
Yes, yes.
What better use could I put that extra $5 a month to than buying an ARRL membership?
I
There you
think
go.
so
There's an
too. And
example.
and there's another track of activity we're involved in, and who's going to take our seats when we age out, and who's the next generation of radio amateur. So ARRL is working a lot in the educator space right now, the STEM space, working with school teachers, working with schools, working with young people, building curriculum.
Yeah.
And so that's another area that we're very involved in at this point.
I've just realized someone's going to find the first video we ever did at Free Sharp 10 years ago and look at how we've aged over the last 10 or so years. You know, that's what's
Happens. It just happens. Yeah, yeah. We're not getting any younger, but we do. We worry about who's going to take our space. And I would say to anyone who's worried about the next generation of radio amateurs, they're here already, and they're already active and involved in amateur radio. So you might not find them in your club, but you'll find them at your colleges and universities, and you'll find them in your schools, and they're already working with teachers that are amateur radio licensed, and lots of good things happening in that space.
Well, we were talking about this morning, actually, and there was 3,000 new amateurs in the UK last year. And obviously, the States being a bigger market, being more again. And I think that's probably the next challenge, is it, about how we now bring them into our clubs, our systems, etc. We get them involved, etc. So we can pass that torch on. So some of the things maybe going on in the States that maybe people outside states can look at as examples that we might be able to harness in Europe.
So one of the things that we're starting to do a lot more of is lift up our vibrant clubs, the clubs that are really doing amazing things. And one of the trends that we've found is that clubs that do well develop an ecosystem. They don't just license and manufacture hams, but they're interested in recruitment, training, development. What happens after you get your license? And what's that mentoring opportunity look like? And then upgrading your license to the next level, and then taking leadership positions in the club. Yeah. Leadership positions in the club means that there might be a future for some of the more significant positions in our national societies. Yep. And even in the International Amateur Radio Union. Who will be the next leaders for ARRL, for the Radio Society of Great Britain, for the International Amateur Radio Union? It's all about leadership development and creating not just members, but member volunteers. So we're concentrating on this ecosystem. Yeah. Don't just manufacture hams. And in the United States, we manufacture hams very well. 28,000 new licensees every year, but only a fraction of them get active in amateur radio, and our clubs are a vibrant part of that.
I think the bit I hear from that as well is, if we find a process that works and we can regurgitate that process over and over again, then the time commitment isn't as much we're asking people for. So that moves away that barrier, because there's a process. Follow the process and we have success.
That's right.
Whereas rather than people think, if I become the treasurer of my club, I've got to become a full-time accountant, or if I become the secretary, I've got to devote 20 hours a week to this sort of thing. If we have a process in place that everyone can follow, then it's only maybe an hour or two a week.
Many hands make light work.
Exactly.
So, yeah, absolutely.
So it's great to hear those type of solutions going on. Any other really cool things the group are doing in the short term that we can hear about?
Yeah, I would say continue to watch some of the ARRL publications that we're producing. Recently, we introduced a book called Salty Walt's Portable Antenna Book. And Walt is a radio amateur who makes his way up and down the coast practicing with building portable antennas in beachfront locations. And he's having a lot of fun, and he was able to draw out many of his antenna designs and share them through a publication that we just put out. So watch for Salty Walt's Portable Antenna Book.
Yep, I think we mentioned that on the last episode, actually. So it's on the ICQPodcast website as well.
Every time and he peppers his book, his storytelling, with visits to local clam and seafood dives.
I think that's important, because you say it is a social art hobby, and sometimes you can probably pick up a book that's over heavy technical, and something like that as well, which especially the new ham as well, it shows them the joy along the way, without it maybe being technical drawings. While they're important, it's also important to get the flavor of the operating and actually, removing away all the barriers. So it's a great opportunity. That's a great book.
I mean, isn't Summits on the Air, Parks on the Air? Those are all about being outdoors and having fun. So why shouldn't we mix in a little bit of food, some antenna projects, some fellowship? It's all about having a good time.
Did you say how many day operators gone wrong because you forgot the bottles of drink and the food and the barbecue?
Exactly.
And then you finish
like park to park. I'm hungry.
Yeah. But if you finish after an hour, and go home and you're upset with me because you forgot to pack the right stuff. So you're correct there.
Exactly.
No, definitely so.
It's great.
Definitely so. Well, it's like, enjoy the show. It's been fantastic catch up as always,
It's
Bob.
great
It's
to be
great.
here with you.
As I say, and just on off one, I spoke to my daughter a little while ago when I was trying to catch you earlier on, and I said, about to speak to Bob and gave you an American pin. She goes, make sure you say hello to Bob. So you might not quite got her as a ham yet, but you got her in as someone who's interested in you. So fantastic. There you go. So there you go. So Bob, as always, thanks a lot.
To see you.
Look after yourself, my friend.
Friedrichshafen and Happy Ham Radio.
You too. Safe journey home.
Yep,
No
thank
problem.
you.
Thanks a lot.